podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
Hey man, how are you?
I have a haircut. Or I got a haircut.
I noticed. You cut like a foot of hair off of you.
Damn near, actually. It was about 10 inches. About 10. I took 10 inches, you know what I mean?
Went to the barber shop.
Got 10 inches. No, I was just getting tired of having it in a ponytail all the time. So I was like, I need to have a haircut because I like having longer hair, but I also don't want it just in a ponytail all the time because it just pulls on the follicles a lot. And...
Now, I need you to not be upset with me when I describe your haircut to you.
I've already gotten 3 Musketeers.
Home and now.
I'm 6 feet from the... No, I'm fine with that.
Or this one. Look at this photograph.
That's kind of worse. But I'll take it.
I mean,
I do. It is like the late 90s, early 2000s sort of like post-grunge haircut.
You're like your 90s alt band style right now. Like everything about it.
It's fine. I'll rock with that. I don't care.
This will make you laugh. Because of the button-up shirt. You've seen the button-up shirts I wear to work.
Right.
And I wear slacks, and I now have a pair of, because my lovely wife got me Converses for Christmas, and it's the first time in a while I have the green and white checkered slip-on.
Oh, hell
Converses.
Yeah.
I need to wash them. But I've been like, I don't want to scrub you and then like mess up the green. But I've dripped stuff on them. But so I'm walking into class, and it's my dual enrollment class. One of them, Mr. Hall, yes, you look like an aged guitar player from a ska band right now.
Fair.
Because I was wearing a bright blue Hawaiian shirt that had a stripe down the side that had like a tiki mask. I'm wearing black slacks, bright green checkered shoes. I've got gray in my beard. And I'm like, yeah, like 30 years ago, I was in a ska band and we just decided to go back on tour. And this is just me.
You know, I can't really take that as an insult because it's like, that's a chill ass look. But
I also told her, you know what ska is? My grandpa listens to ska, and I was like, I will fail you.
It's not that old. It's the 90s and the 80s. And
look, man,
a little bit of 70s.
Like some of my favorite punk pop bands and ska bands are like all in their 50s, getting closer to 60.
Yeah,
like Bowling for Soup is getting old, man.
Shit, like some of my favorite bands, like I look at Gojira, they're in their 40s, and like that's not as old as like some bands I listen to, but it's like they were around in like the early 2000s. That's when they started.
They've been kicking it for 20 years, but like look at the lead singer and some of the other members from like Anthrax.
Oh yeah, Anthrax is. I mean Metallica. Like, I know you don't fuck with Metallica, but I'm saying like Metallica themselves are in their 60s.
2026 can claim them. It's already taken some good people that I wish it wouldn't.
Even Robert, their bassist. Bassist is great.
I mean, he'll just meet the original one.
Hewitt.
What? If they're all dead, they get to all hang out and rock in heaven or hell, right?
I can't. I don't know how to respond to that. But yeah, they would be in heaven because I can't even remember his name because that threw me off. Cliff Burton. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
They'd get file shared to hell.
God. Okay. How would you like to hear a ghost story that's also true crime? God damn it. Fuck you.
I'm just eating a potato chip. I said one thing and like you're derailed. And that's still not the meanest thing I've ever said about Metallica.
You know what? It just threw me off, okay?
Yes, I would love to know about a true crime ghost.
Have you heard of the Greenbrier ghost?
I've heard the name. I do not remember the story.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen this on some type of ghost show that like was a collaboration of multiple ghost stories.
This is a little bit different because this is going to be mostly a story. It's actually a folklore, a tale, but it actually goes into an actual testimony in the West Virginia court.
Okay, yes, I now know what you're talking about.
Okay, so on January 23rd, 1897, the body of Zona Hester Shue was found in her home by a boy who was running errands for her husband, Edward Shue. The coroner ruled her death a case of, quote, everlasting fate.
Everlasting fate, like...
Everlasting fate, yes.
So just like what? Slobsworth, or whatever his name that was trying to steal from Wonka, killed her instead of giving her candy?
Well, I mean,
or Slugsworth.
Like the, and we'll get into it later, but it's also like, it's another term for like natural causes.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounds like act of God from insurance. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. That sounds like bullshit.
But anyway, her ghost would tell another story. So, Zona was born Elva Zona Hester, or Heaster, it's Heaster, in Greenbrier County. At the time, the population was about 18,000.
That's not small for the time.
That's not small for the time, but you got to think that it's the whole county. It's not just one town.
Oh, that's true. The county.
So
that is kind of small.
Yeah. She grew up within the county inside of a small farming village too. So it's not like
everybody knew
town. It's
everybody
not like
knew
a named
everybody
town.
in that area.
Yeah. And it's not like a named town. It's like
an unincorporated farm area.
Yeah. Where everybody lived.
The village.
Yeah. Not much is known about Zona in life. There were accounts of her being rebellious or troubled, although these are like secondhand accounts.
Dude, if you're bored and you live in unincorporated farm village,
yeah, you might get into some shenanigans. I mean, it makes sense. And it's also another thing that you need to know is that she had a child out of wedlock by 18. So, and at that time, that was a cultural faux pas.
Oh, that's a huge scandal.
Yeah, so people might have seen that, despite the fact that like people considered her generally friendly or positive. They would look at something like that as like, oh, she's a wild one.
She a hoe.
Yeah, they would. I mean, I wasn't going to use that language, but yeah, essentially.
Would you prefer I had said she is a garden implement?
Sure.
That sounds worse.
Well, I'm saying that like for the time, like someone that was considered troubled would be like someone that like maybe made one or two mistakes, but like in a culturally conservative area like where she lived, it's like, oh, you're really going outside the box here.
No one asked where the baby came from or who the daddy was.
No. There's not much information on that, unfortunately. Like I said, like the tales that she was like the accounts of her being like rebellious or troubled are actually second, third hand accounts, and they often came after her death. So those sort of accounts are kind of colored by the fact that like
there's other elements, and so that these people would have made assumptions about this poor woman.
Or they were like, they didn't want to speak ill of the dead, so they decided, like, oh yeah, she was a little bit rebellious, but she was a nice lady. But in life, they might have been like, that fucking idiot Zona, or some shit like that.
I heard she slapped the preacher in the dick.
Yeah. So, one thing that is pretty well documented, and of course this isn't like too out there for any time, is the fact that she was close with her mother. That's good. Yeah. So, Mary Jane Hester, she was very close with her mother.
So, she was a big fan of Mary Jane.
Yeah, she's a big fan of Mary Jane. In 1896, a drifter by the name of Edward H. Shue, but also known as Trout, would come into town looking for work. Now, Trout was a metal worker by trade, and he got a job at a local blacksmith. There's not much there. It's just he got a job at a local blacksmith, doing farm equipment for the town, obviously. Notes from that time say that locals thought he was a nice enough man. somewhat good looking. I mean, I saw some accounts of him being like having like slick back hair and blue eyes, things like that. But that's
he's the 1800s version of a greaser.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like a lot of those stories come from like embellishments from stories I read because I read multiple.
It was
stories.
Nearly 7 feet tall, broad as a door, handsome, and had a chest that you could grate cheese upon.
And because of that, Zona and Trout hit it off quickly, falling in love and marrying within months of him arriving in town. So he arrives in October. By January 23rd, they're married. They're already married. They have a place in town. However, Zona's mother, again, Mary, was warning her about moving so quickly with the man because she had some suspicions about him. And, you know, some might say, oh, that's just, you know, a mother being a little bit too...
Protect.
But, you know, she... Like, Mary was like, no, something is definitely wrong here.
This dude
weird. Seems a bit weird.
Sus.
So moving forward to January 23rd. One day, Trout was working, and he had a local boy go check on Zona. Some of the stories say that he was trying to get a welfare check on her, or wellness check on her. Other ones say that he wanted the boy to go and see if she needed anything from town, because you know they would have to go into town and get whatever groceries. So he's like, go tell. So he's at the blacksmith shop ordering this boy around, which is, you know, Appalachian things to do.
Well, I mean, his name was probably like Alvin Terrence Thomas, so
well,
he decided to send AT&T to go get his wife.
Now, I'm going to say now, like, this is not confirmed, but the stories I've seen have him named as Andy Jones. The little boy. The 11-year-old, when he went into the house, he went through the house, but found the body of Zona laying on the floor in an unnatural position, some might say, laid out. Some diverging stories, one in the kitchen or at the foot of the stairs, things like that. But many of the stories have her with her eyes wide open. I saw some of the stories with a smile. Some of the stories envisioned, the boy envisioned like cackling. Of course, this could be just embellishments of the story. The boy quickly ran home, told his mother, and the parents got Trout and got the doctor. So the doctor took about an hour to get there, and by the time he got there, the grief-stricken Trout had already moved the body from where it originally was to the bed and was sulking with grief. You know, doing the whole holding the body, crying, and everything. And because of this, there was only a cursory look at the body when the coroner or the doctor looked at the body, and he ruled it. In the stories, they would say everlasting faint. You hear this in later stories, but usually natural causes or heart disease are usually the main ones. I've seen some later versions too that say that it was a miscarriage that might have killed her, but you know, that's later embellishments. And oddly, within days, Zona was put to rest, and many noted strange behavior from Trout. He had dressed the body himself, a practice that was traditionally done by women in the village.
He just needed to see her one last time before she
God, don't fuck it. Oh, God. The attire he chose had a rigid collar that covered the neck.
Okay, yeah, this is the part of the story I've definitely heard.
He was oddly animated with grief, almost as if he was being performative.
No, baby, no, baby,
yeah.
Baby,
and
no.
Again, it's like one of those things, it's like, you're attending this funeral and you see this dude just going off And you're like, this seems kind of weird. I'm not going to say anything because
that's a big man. That is a big man that is being very emotional. We have never seen him. I mean,
and note that he's not even a year into this town at this point. Like, he has only lived here for about, like, from October to January. So, he's fairly new, and he's also doing this big display, and he's saying a whole bunch of things, like, this is her favorite dress, this is her favorite, thing.
How long had they been married at this point?
From October to January when she died.
So
They got married very quickly.
I'm just saying in 3 months, you know what? Maybe he was a super attentive husband and knew exactly all of her favorite crap. I mean, he was still in that like honeymoon glow period of the relationship.
He would also guard the body and not allow people to get too close to the coffin.
Don't you touch her.
Don't you touch her.
I see you looking at her butt.
Get out of here.
You
gonna get out of here. I ain't gonna tire of you.
Don't you look at her slender, lovely neck that's in her favorite hard, rigid, collared, steel reinforced neck dress.
That's just some makeup. It's not bruising. Get out of here. Go and get it.
She always liked purple.
Regardless, after she was buried, the small farming community went back to the normal routine. Everyone except the mother. Now, the mother was understandably upset, but she also had it out for old Trout.
She's like, that dude fucking killed my kid.
She's like, something fucking happened. Unfortunately, the body was already buried. Everything had moved so quick, and talking with people just was not working. So she did what any Southern woman would do at the time.
She goodbye Earl, the ex-husband?
Well, outside of that, she went to the Lord.
Okay, yeah, but like, I'm thinking she's gonna be coming in from Atlanta and come up with a plan because Earl had to fucking die, man. I don't know what's been up with my TikTok feed, but like the Dixie, or I shouldn't say the Dixie Chicks, the Chicks keep popping up as like songs for, like, I think Gen Z discovered them again.
I mean, it just circles back around. Like, they got canceled back, which, by the way, getting canceled is mostly bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
But if you want to see an actual example of someone being canceled, go look at the Chicks.
Yeah.
At the time, they were known as the Dixie Chicks. They spoke out against the Iraq War, and their career
fucking dried up.
But anyway.
Did you actually have your keys? Thank you.
I lost Art the Clown on it, unfortunately.
So before we continue on, a little bit of something that maybe future Chris can edit this out or leave it in if he wants. Maybe Zoomer dudes need to pay attention to the number of Gen Z ladies that are starting to listen to Goodbye Earl with the way they talk about women, and that they don't believe in no-fault divorce. You're going to watch the green beans are okay to me, honey. The black eyed peas were fine. And next thing you know, somebody's getting buried in the fucking backwoods.
Any Zoomer that like wants to fucking talk about like traditional family and talk about how, women need to be subservient, women need to, stay in the kitchen or stay at home and do this. Go look at the fucking death rates of some of the men back in like the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Where just all of a sudden died of a heart attack.
It's like, wow, they just passed away for some reason.
Like, I got one of my grandmother's oldest sisters. Everybody talked about how bad her first husband was. And then all of a sudden, this perfectly healthy dude who was like married her, she was 16 and he was like almost 30. And all of a sudden he fucking died.
Yeah, it turns out when you treat people like shit, they're going to find ways to get back at you.
And Fight Club, don't fuck with the people who make your food.
True.
But
anyway,
I'm just saying, like, I'm finding irony in that.
So, Mary prayed, and she wanted to have a sign. And it took a few weeks until she had stated that her daughter had visited her at night. At first, the apparition would just appear to her. So just every now and then the apparition would come. But she would pray harder and hope for her daughter to come back. And eventually she did. And every night she would give her more and more details. Give details about their relationship and how he was an abusive person. And all of this would culminate with Zona telling her about her death, or the day she died. So the day she died was apparently a time when Zona prepared a big meal for Trout, but Trout didn't like it because it didn't have meat. And he got angry about that, despite the fact that Zona had said, "Oh, well, there was bread, there was preservatives, there was vegetables, there was all these things that anyone would be happy to have in our situation." This is a rural town in West Virginia in the 1800s.
But there were no pork chop.
There were no pork chops. There were no beef ribs. There were no steak. So he got mad. And it escalated, the violence escalated until he snapped her neck and she fell down dead. And to show Zona's mother, Mary, what had happened, she had turned her head all the way around.
She Beetlejuiced this shit.
She Beetlejuiced her head to be like, this is what happened.
You know what? This is a mother that is way too okay talking to her spectral visage of a daughter.
Okay, I don't want to put that out in the ether, but just the idea that, like, you are so
grief-stricken.
You're so grief-stricken. You're so hungry for answers that you are reaching out into the ether to see who killed one of your loved ones, and then they come back and talk. I don't know how I would answer that.
The head being watching my child twist their head around as a ghost would be enough to make me, okay, hold the fuck on. Dad needs a second. Give me a moment. Then again, moms are made of tougher stuff, so maybe she'd be like,
damn, that's you did that.
Earl's got to die.
I don't think that's going to get picked up. But
you know what? You just need to just hit that bit and amplify the volume so high.
But in the coming days, she tried to, after like that incident, I should say, she had tried to talk to anybody that would listen to her. And eventually she did get the authorities to listen to her. So, like, I've seen some say that she got a lawyer, and the lawyer was the one who handled everything. I've seen other things where the police were involved. Whatever it was, she got the authorities involved and convinced them to look into it. They talked to the doctor. The doctor was like, well, I only did a cursory look because Trout was... He was fondling the dead body and crying. There was just so much going on. I only did a cursory look. It didn't look like anything had happened. And from there, the authority, the police, the lawyer, the authorities, whatever you want to call them, were like, yeah, this is enough to say that we need to check this out. So they decided to exhume the body and do a check. And the story goes that they forced him. They took a school, one of those old school one-room schools where you just walk in. It's just a big room
with pews instead of desks.
Yeah. So they cleared out a one-room school like that, set up a makeshift autopsy room, and brought the body in there. And in there, they had, like, the doctor, a coroner, like, some law enforcement, and they had Trout there. Like, the story goes that he was sitting in the room, and throughout the entire procedure, he was whittling on some wood with a knife until they got to her neck. in which case he started to panic or get nervous, like visibly so. And what they found, obviously, was her neck was loose in terms of, like, it seemed like, I don't know dead bodies, but, like, I'm assuming,
once
like,
rigor mortis has passed, the body is fairly pliable.
but, like, if there's, like, a separation or a break in the neck,
They could tell.
yeah. And there was also, like, pre-death, like, bruising.
There's going to be some, pre-mortem. Oh, actually, no, the real term.
Yeah.
Post-mortem would be bruising after death, but
Yeah. So, but there was bruising at the neck, nonetheless. And it was enough for them to go, hold on one moment. Hold on.
That's fucking weird.
So, at that instance, they decided to arrest Trout. Now we get into the juicy bit. You want to hear about the trial and aftermath?
Sure.
That didn't seem like...
I'm sorry, it's just that you were talking about this very graphic scene of an autopsy and said, hey, you want the juicy bit? And I'm like, ew.
Well, oh my god. That's not what I mean. We're talking about... Okay, so during the trial... it was revealed that his real name was Emerus Stribbing Trout Shoe, or sometimes Erastus.
Okay, Erastus makes more sense. The other one you said sounds like
Emerus.
Emerus. It sounds like somebody just put a bunch of letters and then said, "Hey
Yeah.
Siri, how does this sound?"
And I will say, I don't know, it might have been Emerus Stribbing Shoe or Erastus Stribbing Shoe. His nickname was Trout. I don't know why it was Trout.
He likes fish.
He likes fish. It was also revealed that he was not only previously married,
He was
but
still married.
he was already a widower at the time of meeting Zona.
Oh, he might have killed the first wife.
Yeah. Now, his first wife divorced him after he left them and the child and was said to be abusive during their marriage. Interesting. So we're going to get into the second wife. The second wife died under mysterious circumstances. Now, I'm going to say this now. From what I've read, there is not enough to say that he murdered her. That said, there is not enough to say he didn't murder her. Now, like, the two biggest stories that come from, like, this, like, either she died falling and hitting her head, or she died getting her head hit with the brick while helping him repair the house. So apparently, like, he was on the thing and then, like, a brick fell. Whee! Bam.
Totally fell.
Yeah, you know, he wasn't just, like...
Didn't yeet it.
Yeah, he wasn't doing, like, a Tetris thing where he's... I don't know.
The divorce was not an option.
Though the prosecution didn't want to bring up the ghost story, the defense tried to do so to discredit the prosecution. So they were like, okay, so they're getting all this shit from, like, some ghost story, some weird lady, and at the time they would probably use a term like spinster or something like that.
They might say she was hysterical.
They might say she was hysterical. They would say she belongs in an asylum. I've been reading about like the pre-modern asylums. Holy fuck!
Oh, I one of the episodes that I've looked up.
Is it Blackwell or
no? It's the Alexandria.
Oh, cool.
Or I should say the Louisiana asylum for the insane that used to be in Pineville.
But they tried to bring her up to, like, discredit the story, although it backfired, as she was very adamant and consistent with her story. And the folklore goes, not only was she adamant and consistent, but she was able to confirm things that she would not be able to confirm otherwise.
Unless she had talked to a ghost.
Yeah. Things like the details of the house, because apparently she had never seen the house they lived in. The times in which he would go to work, things like that. Apparently she was able to corroborate that. And then it had to be entered into evidence or be considered as evidence by the jury because the defense was like, we're going to bring it up. Now the prosecution was like, we're not going to bring it up because it's not important. We want to focus on the material evidence. We're not trying to bring the ethereal into this.
We don't want no ghosts.
We don't want no ghosts. We are afraid of ghosts, actually. We are not Venkman or Ray Stans or anything like that. We are trying to focus on, like, the material.
We're Carl on a good day.
We're Carl on a good day. But this not only did this mean that they were her version, but they had to consider it as part of evidence, right? And then, of course, this led in a spectacular backfire to Trout being found guilty of murder with life in prison. Now, it was not a unanimous decision, so they could not try him, or they could not convict him and sentence him to death, because it was unanimous. In a lot of states in the U.S., you have to have a unanimous jury to sentence someone to death.
We live in one of the only ones that you just have to have a majority.
And we're next to a lot of ones also. But regardless, there was a group of vigilantes that tried to lynch him, but the mob was unsuccessful. The police had hid him in the forest and were like, we'll handle this. They did handle it. You know, they charged the whole lynch mob for, like, I forget what the term was. It's like, don't do that.
Inciting a riot.
Inciting a riot. The don't hang a man extrajudicially thing. But yeah, it doesn't matter though, because Trout would die in West Virginia State Penitentiary, and a couple years later after a disease outbreak. And then he was buried in an unmarked grave in the Poppers Field. And
seems like
West Virginia.
Seems like he deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he's one of the few people that is like, yeah, he killed one of his wives, potentially killed another, was abusive to all three of his wives.
Just all around a jackhole.
Yeah. So that happened to him, and Mary maintained that her daughter spoke to her from beyond the grave until her dying day in 1919. Now, what exactly did happen? Could it have been a ghost?
Maybe.
Or could it have been Mary was just trying to get as many people to listen as possible, and she came up with this story?
No one will listen to a spinster. Everybody will listen to a murder ghost.
I mean, as much as that's a joke, like...
No, I tried to make it look slightly funny, but there's a high chance that she went literally, I think they'd believe a ghost more than me. I'm an old widow woman.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't have been a spinster because she actually had a child and had been married.
Right.
So she's just an old widow woman.
But I don't even know if she... Like, I just know spinster is as like a term for an older woman. Does it have any kind
Spinster is a... Okay. At the ripe old age of 25, some women in the late 1800s would have been considered spinsters because they were not married.
The thing is, it's like there's not much information about Mary, her life, or like I didn't see anything about her being even married at the time this happened.
But she had to have been married at some point unless she was a pariah like her.
So she was probably a widow or had a child out of wedlock. There's not much information about that, at least none that I saw. She did she kept this story up into her grave, and according to court documents, she was remarkably consistent. So she had a story, she stuck to it, she didn't change it, and I mean, I think that leads at least, I mean, if not like a whole lot of credibility, just a little bit, that at least she believed it. Like, and I'm not saying that like a ghost appeared to her and like admitted or talked about the entire crime. I'm saying that she at least believed it if she could keep a story together, because like it is actually remarkably hard to keep a lie together consistently.
It's extremely hard to keep a lie consistent.
And, like, maybe she was really good at it. Maybe she's really good at spinning a tale. And you know what? More power to her, because she was trying to get justice for her daughter. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, I do think that, you know, leave a little bit of credibility for her and the whole story. Because, like, just remarkably consistent. No, but as it stands, much of the ghost story aspect is likely overstated. The authorities could have just looked at the circumstantial evidence and said, yeah, that's definitely...
This dude definitely killed his wife.
Yeah. Trout also spoke in his defense, which did not give a convincing argument to his innocence. Apparently... As what happens mostly with people, there's very few examples of people speaking in their defense and winning.
I represent myself, bruh.
Yeah. I think the only person I can think of is, like, not Jeffrey Dahmer, who's Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Ted Bundy speak on his defense and actually...
I don't know, I'd have to double check it. I'm not the true crime guy.
Regardless on whether or not the specter helped her mother, this is the most famous case where a testimony involving a ghost was present in court. Or was presented in court, rather. Again, while Trout was buried in an unmarked grave in West Virginia Penitentiary, a plaque near the cemetery marks the place where Zona was buried, summarizing the legend. This story has inspired dramatizations such as the West Virginia Valley Theater's Zona, which is a dramatization, like a play of it. Katie Lyle's The Man Who Wanted Seven Wives, The Greenbrier Ghost, and the famous murder mystery of 1897, and even an appearance on the Comedy Central's Drunk History.
That's where I heard this story.
Yeah. There hasn't been much in terms, like, it's more of like a folklore tale, but there hasn't, folklore tales either have one thing. Either they're just told orally and people just talk about them, or they have, like, these big fancy festivals. It's like, not everyone, I guess, can be.
You're either Mothman or the Beast of Busco, or
yeah,
you got randomly mentioned one time on a Comedy Central short form podcast style TV show.
So what do you think?
I'll tell you what I think. I think the mom, the second her daughter died, started doing some fucking detective work and went like to the house.
You think she Sherlock Holmes it?
I think she did, but also it's like, my daughter, I feel like she goes, my daughter never wore a high collar dress in her fucking life. What is wrong with you? I don't know how she cocked that gun, but okay.
Yeah, this was before those kinds of guns.
No, they would have existed in the late 1800s.
Really? Like I mean, I know they had, like, actual, like, I didn't know they had, like, mags yet. Did they have mags at that point?
Starting to develop it, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I mean, like, machine guns existed in the 1890s. Semi-automatic pistols started to pop up. I mean, you've moved from flintlocks and muskets to rifles.
Okay.
Since Civil War. So, I mean.
But yeah, going back to her, like, I do think that, like, she was always suspicious of Trout. And when her daughter died, there was some obvious red flags. And I think she picked on it more than most because she was already suspicious of Trout.
I think so, but also maybe, I'm going to throw this one out there, and this could be complete conjecture on my part. I think she might have been a victim of spousal abuse as well and kind of knew that known that kind of man.
Again, I don't, like, I can't speculate on that because I don't know, like, I didn't see any of her history. Her context in the story is the now. I got a ghost visit, and this dude's guilty as fuck. That's basically it. Now, if there's some more information, like, if people want to send us any information about, like, this that I have missed, that is perfectly fine. And maybe like we'll do, like we always talk about doing like follow-up episodes or anything like that. We might do that. But yeah, like if you want to do that, just let us know. But my sources are the Wikipedia Greenbrier Ghost, Greenbrier Valley, West Virginia, the Greenbrier Ghost, Zona Hester Shoe, Danny Chase, the Greenbrier Ghost, the YouTube channel Appalachian Storyteller, the Greenbrier Ghost, and the history guy Greenbrier Ghost and Appalachian History. Thank you for listening. We are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday, and we're going to be on Patreon. We're going to be on all the other social medias, maybe. We'll see how things go. We talked about it in the last episode, but yeah, we're hoping we can do better with engagement. But in the meantime, we are also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a group of friends who like to play video games and board games and video games. And currently we are promoting the Trevor Project. So if you could help donate to find homes for trans and other LGBTQ plus youth to allow them to be safe and have a roof over their head, we would greatly appreciate it.
With that, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is over there.
Almost heaven.
I don't know the song. I'm sorry.
West Virginia.
Oh, God, it's that song. Okay. You just don't know how to sing.